Hello everyone, my name is Tanmay and welcome back to Tasso again. So today in this video, we will be checking the weight is equals to mass into gravity is right or wrong. Yes, so in this experiment, I will check my weight on the two places of my house. First of all on my rooftop, means terrace, and the second one is in my basement with the help of this weighting machine. So by this experiment, I want to check that weight is equals to mass into gravity is true or false. So let's get started. So here I am on my terrace and my rooftop, and this is my weighting machine. So let's measure the weight here on the rooftop.
So the weighing machine is finally ready, so let's check the weight here. So you can check here that my weight is 49.65 kg.
So I checked my weight on the terrace, that is 49.65 kg. So let's go to my basement and let's check the weight. So finally I am here, but I am not in the basement because there's a situation, because as we know that the weight also decreases as we go down to the earth, and we know that the basement is the area which is situated and which is constructed below the earth surface. So as we will measure our weight on basement, so it will be same as of the terrace. So I am here on the ground floor to measure the exact weight of myself. Let's get started. It's 49.65 kg again. So why is it 49.65 again? Let's discuss it.
Okay, so let's clear out some confusion that are there in the experiment. So the first confusion is there that why my weight on terrace is equal to my weight in the basement. Yes, this is the first confusion that is there in the experiment, because I told you that the height decreasement or increasement will change the gravity. But in this case, my weight on terrace is equals to 49.65 kilograms, and exactly my weight on in the basement is same 49.65 kilograms. So why WT is equals to WB? Why the WT is equals to WB? This is because we know that weight is directly proportional to the height, and weight is also directly proportional to gravity. So we can write here as weight is directly proportional to gravity, and gravity is inversely proportional to height, right? If the height increase, gravity decrease, which means in short we can say that gravity is inversely proportional to height, right? If the height increasement will result decreasement of gravity and the vice versa. So here when we talk about the terrace height is increased, means there is more height, right? It means that the height in the case of WT is more as compared to the height on the case of WB, which means that gravity on the terrace is inversely proportional to height of terrace. That means height of terrace is more, which results less gravitational force. And if the gravitational force is decreased, that means our weight will also decrease. So that is why our weight on terrace is came 49.65 kilograms. Now let's talk about the second case, my weight in the basement. Now if we talk about the case of basement, so the same case is there, like my height, the height of the basement is lower as compared to the terrace, but I didn't measure the weight on the in the basement. We will talk about later. So my weight in the basement is equals to weight on the terrace. This is also same, so we can write here as the same thing that I have written in the first case, that weight on terrace is directly proportional to gravity on terrace and inversely proportional to height on terrace. So we can write here as the weight in the basement is equals to weight on the terrace, which means that gravity in the basement is inversely proportional to height of basement. Less height result more gravity, right? Less height result more gravity, which means that our weight should be more than weight on terrace, but it is entirely wrong. Our weight gravity is here, in this case the gravity is increased. Why my weight is again 49.65 kg? I told you that if the height will decrease, so the gravity will increase, but in this case it is mean that the gravity is increasing and weight is also increasing. How is this possible? Is this really possible? So let's talk about this thing. It is possible, but not according to the law, because my weight on terrace is absolutely same my weight in the basement, because this is the negligible effect, because this is a small variation of height, and this doesn't mean that my weight will decrease or increase in the small changement in the height, because the height changement between the terrace and the basement is very slightly low, which do not change out the gravity and which do not change out the weight, and my weight remains constant in the both cases. That is why my weight on the terrace is absolutely equals to the weight in my basement, because there is a negligible effect of gravity changement which results no change on weight. But if we talk about the space is having a more height, which means less gravity. That is why. Now The second confusion is that why I didn't measure my weight in basement, but I measured my weight on the stairs. Yes, this is also a confusion because I was telling you in the starting of the video that I will measure my weight in the two cases, first of all on my terrace and first of all in my basement. But when I go downstairs, I told you that I am measuring my I was measuring my weight on the stairs but not in the basement. Why? Why I measured my weight in the stairs but not as a basement? So let's talk about this confusion. So see, let's assume that this is our ground, which is this is our earth surface, and below the our earth surface this is a basement, as we know that it is constructed between below the under the surface of the earth, and this is the surface. This means this is a land of basement, right? This is a surface of basement and this is basement and this is the earth surface, right? This is the earth surface, right? Now, as we know that the gravity is inversely proportional to height, which means that if height will increase, so the gravity will decrease, and height will decrease means gravity will increase. But in this case, what is happening, this is happening like this is happening when we dive inside the earth. Gravity always decreases. Now you were wondering that why? Because I told you that the decreasement of height results more gravity means more weight. But why I am saying now that when we dive inside the earth, gravity always decreases? This is because gravity is directly proportional to height according to law, and this is absolutely true. But this law is only works when we measure our weight with the scale of the earth surface, not below than that. Not below than that. If we are going above from the earth surface, so that's why our weight decreases. So let's assume that this is our sphere earth. Let's assume that this is our earth and this is earth surface. Let me name it. This is earth and this is pole, right? This is pole, and assume that one man is standing here. One man is standing here, and we know that if the man is standing on the earth, there is a force which is acting against him, that is a gravitational force, and there is an acceleration due to gravity between his foot and the earth surface, that is 9.8 meter per second square, or we can say 10 meter per second square, due to the gravity between the force and the earth. This is called the acceleration due to gravity, which doesn't measured by the mass, right? It is always constant for all the surfaces. Now here, when we dive inside the earth, here when we dive inside the earth, so now let's assume that now the man is standing inside the earth. It is not possible, but we are assuming that the man is standing inside the earth. So there is a pressure all over his body is acting on it, which is not same, right? The pressure of the earth surface is acting on his body, the pressure of earth surface is equal the all across the earth, all across all the region of the earth for the person, which means that it doesn't mean that how we go inside the earth, the pressure all over the his body will be equal, which will cancel out the gravity and the gravity decreases. That is why when we were at the pole, so the gravity will become zero, right? So that is why our weight decreases when we dive inside the earth, because the pressure all over the earth on the body is acting on it, which results less gravity. Now if any man is standing on the pole, means it is a midpoint of all over the earth's surface, so here the weight will become zero. How? Because W is equals to mass into gravity, and W is equals to G becomes zero, M into zero, and W is equals to zero. The gravity is zero here because the pressure all over the earth towards the pole is always equal, which cancel out the gravity, and which results the gravity is zero, which means that W is equals to M into zero, which results W is equals to zero. But our mass does not change, because mass is not a variable quantity, it never changes, right? Because for example, if we gone to the pole, so our mass will not change, it will be same, but our weight will be same, because the gravity in this case will be equal, because all the pressure all over the earth surface is equal to the pole.